easily catches up to him. All Might punches him, sending him all the way to where they started, into a building. Luckily, Bakugo is unharmed. Deku then realizes he can't run, and he has to fight to figure out a way to capture him. Deku decides to charge at him head on, badly damaging his armor and lowering his stamina affected his armor repair. With the help from Drake and his classmate, he can overcome this barrier. He then releases all of his power stored in his sacred gear, then rushing All Might. The clash between the two wakes up from Deku and All Might. Deku is losing and blocks All Might punches, pinning him against a building. Deku is unable to move or do anything until Bakugo comes up from behind, surprising All Might, hitting him with a huge blast point blank. They both use this chance to quickly run away, and they both make it out because All Might's time limit is up, and stamina is gone from the big blast he took. They pass, and when they enter to meet the other students, Ochako, but they also said not to slack off because you have training camp soon. The League of Villains says everyone, the Red Dragon Emperor will be there. I want him for myself. Red, we should just finish him off. Tomura says, I want him for my house. Drake says to him, Deku, you need to put your mind into sacred gear again. They have something to do well to help you. Deku then enters himself into a boosted gear. He appears in this white, endless plane. Deku looks around to see her. He then hears something coming from behind him, and he quickly transforms into his balance breaker. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker! He turns around, blocking a punch. Oh, it's you, Alicia. What's up? Well, we decided the training. You'll be training with the strongest Red Dragon male emperor in history, says Alicia. Our world that weigh 500 pounds each. Finally, your last challenge is to see if your training paid off. Is to try to take a key away from me. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we have a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive is a channel based on a variety of anime lore. If you're interested in content like this, make sure you click the icon on the top right corner or check and too hard. And do I even get anything out of it? How will my body be affected? Out of the Bible? Alicia says, cheer up. You still have 16 hours to yourself anyways. Belzarf said, we'll start now. As you'll have to deal with 3 times the fire rate every day. Next up is the lifting portion, where Deku has to lift 100,000 pounds. Deku tries to lift it, but he can't. Drake says, you fool, just boost a ton so you're able to lift it! Belzard says, correct, Drake, but a new height. Deku goes into his balance breaker, starts boosting, and after 4 boosts, he can lift it. Then it starts becoming heavier, so he has to boost more to keep it up. He goes back, and Belzard meets him and says, now, your final task. If you can get this key from me, you'll pass your training. You can come at me any way you have to. 2 hours to do this, so we'll be doing this, and charges for the key straight away, but Belzard swiftly dodges it. And Belzard says, looks like you're ready this time. Now come at me. Meanwhile, called Drakenia, helping him throughout his training. Tomura has a sacred power which lets him overcome the dragon, giving him his respect. Side note, must read. Tomura did not defeat Blizzard, he only made Blizzard realize with knowing this would help him become the #1 hero, and he'll get rewarded for it too. His only struggle is getting the key from Blizzard, which he failed to get so far. Days on days on days of failing, Deku starts to realize how he moves, and the final day comes and he stands off against Blizzard, one last time for the key. Over. Deku rushes towards using a dragon shot to distract him, then doesn't expect it. He will attack knowing from all of his attempts. He then comes from above shining with a bright white light. Alicia says, also you can call it Hirobos, wielded by the great Cadmus. This sword could defeat many draconic creatures. This sword is very fatal against humans. Bit extra! And where do you even get this? Blizzard says, only the strongest Red Dragon Emperors with enough will can use it. Deku walks up to the sword and Drake says, insert your sacred gear power into it so to use it with his other swords from the Stain Killer. Blizzard says, but more importantly, take this box and open it. It's something special. Please open it. As, what happened? I don't feel different. Alicia said, but you will soon. This potential will change you in various ways depending on your path you choose. Deku says in confusion, what's that supposed to? A merch store? Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time. So if you're interested, I'd like to thank our $5 plus supporters on Patreon for helping funding these videos, as well as the editors for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, an editor, or a writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord nest. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that
far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire. True, baby, let the